This is a story of a woman who turned nightclub business cards into a $26.9 million music empire. At 23, she handed out flyers outside clubs at midnight for $68 in her pocket and dreams bigger than the bass drops inside. 6 years later, she owned a record label with platinum artists, Grammy nominations, and a roster that defined hip-hop's new generation. But the numbers don't tell you about the promoter who called her just another pretty face handing out papers. Or the night she decided her voice would be heard through the artists she'd discover, not the clubs she'd promote. Her name was Raven, and at 23, she knew every club entrance in the city but couldn't get past the velvet ropes herself unless she was working. She promoted club nights, handed out flyers in 6-inch heels until 4 a.m., got paid in cash that barely covered rent. She made about $11 an hour on good nights when the club was packed. Bad nights meant $8 plus whatever tips drunk clubgoers threw at the pretty girl with the flyers. The $68 in her pocket represented one full weekend of standing outside in the cold, smiling at strangers who mostly ignored her, pretending the music industry wasn't happening inside while she stood outside advertising it. But Raven had a secret obsession. She studied every artist who performed at the clubs she promoted. She noticed which ones had stage presence, which ones the crowd really moved to, who had talent but no proper management. She watched managers, labels, A&Rs, making deals in VIP sections she wasn't allowed to enter. During breaks, between handing out flyers, she'd sit on the curb scrolling through SoundCloud, discovering underground artists. At night after her shifts, makeup smudged and feet bleeding from heels, she researched music business, artist development, label operations on her phone. One night, a club promoter dismissively told her, "You're just another pretty face handing out papers. Stay in your lane." Raven smiled, took another stack of flyers, and silently vowed, "I'm going to build a music label so powerful that artists will beg to sign, and you'll be promoting my label's shows." The breaking point came from observation. Raven noticed incredible artists performing for free at the clubs she promoted. Talented, but with zero industry connections, no one willing to invest in their potential. She had $68, not enough for a real studio session, but enough for a beginning. She spent $53 on basic recording software and a cheap microphone. She spent $15 printing business cards that said Raven Records Artist Development. In her studio apartment, she reached out to 3 underground artists she'd discovered on SoundCloud and offered free recording sessions in exchange for rights to distribute their music. Her first release, a mixtape featuring those 3 artists, went up on all streaming platforms. She promoted it using every nightlife connection she had. Within 2 weeks, the mixtape had 37,000 streams. She made $162 from streaming revenue, more than a full night of club promotion, created from artists nobody else believed in. The voice in her head said she was crazy trying to start a label with no money, but another voice whispered, "What if you're not discovering talent? What if you're creating an empire?" That first year, Raven made $973 from her label while still promoting clubs 70 hours a week. She reinvested everything: better recording equipment, better producers, better marketing. She taught herself music business, publishing rights, distribution deals, all from free YouTube videos at 6 a.m. after club shifts. At 24, her label was making $6,000 monthly. She signed to more artists both discovered while handing out flyers outside venues. She used her nightlife connections to get them club performances, then documented everything, creating viral content. By 26, her monthly revenue hit $34,000. She finally quit club promotion. Her former boss said, "Music business will chew you up. You'll be back handing out flyers." Raven smiled and thought, "I'm about to sign the artists you wish you'd discovered." She rented a proper studio, hired 3 employees, all former nightlife workers who understood hustle. Her label, Raven Records, became known for discovering raw talent, developing artists properly, and giving opportunities to people the industry overlooked. At 28, everything exploded. Her artist won a Grammy. During the acceptance speech, he thanked Raven Records for believing when nobody else would. The speech went viral, 43 million views. Every underground artist wanted to sign with her label. Distribution deals with Spotify and Apple Music came through. Tourist promoters were calling. Major brands wanted partnerships. The music industry, that had kept her outside the velvet ropes, was now begging for meetings. By 29, her label had 18 signed artists. For platinum records, 2 Grammy wins. Revenue reached $23.6 million. She'd created a movement, discovering talent in unexpected places, developing artists with patience, building careers, not just viral moments. She didn't just build a record label. She built an empire on believing in people others dismissed. Her artists were former hustlers, underground performers, people who'd been told they weren't industry material. She proved the industry wrong. At 29, her music empire was valued at $26.9 million. She owned 82% of her company. The club promoter with $68 had built something that changed hip-hop. One night at the Grammys, Raven saw him. The promoter who'd said she was just another pretty face handing out papers. He was trying to network with her artists, claiming he'd always supported underground talent. He didn't recognize Raven. She'd transformed from club promoter to label executive. Pink hair and red-powered dress replacing the promotional outfit. She approached with champagne in hand. "Remember me? I used to hand out flyers for your clubs. You told me to stay in my lane, that I was just another pretty face. I built a $27 million music label instead. My artists don't need your clubs anymore. Your clubs need my artists. Thanks for the motivation." His face went pale with recognition. Raven walked away to her Grammy-winning artists. She didn't need his apology. Her empire spoke louder than his dismissal ever could. What Raven learned changed not just her bank account, but her entire soul. 1. Standing outside doesn't mean you can't build what's inside. She was outside the clubs, but built the music industry. 2. Stay in your lane is advice from people who can't see your highway. She built her own lane and called it an empire. 3. The best talent scouts are people who've been overlooked themselves. She found artists others missed because she'd been invisible too. 4. You don't need industry connections to start. You need ears, vision, and artists who need someone to believe. 5. Nightlife teaches hustle and networking, but owning the music teaches power and legacy. 6. The people who call you just a pretty face will eventually need what you built with that pretty face and brilliant mind combined. Right now, someone watching this is hustling in nightlife, handing out flyers, promoting someone else's vision, wondering if they matter. You're outside the velvet ropes looking in. Let Raven's story whisper to the part of you that refuses to stay outside. Your empire starts with who you discover, what you build. If this story reminded you that your current hustle can fund your future empire, smash that like button. Subscribe for more nightlife to empire transformations. Comment the talent or business you've been afraid to start. Share with every hustler who's currently outside but dreaming of building inside. Your music empire starts tonight. Discover it while they party. Build it while they sleep. Sign it before they notice.